remind you guys that today we're going to talk about narcissistic trauma. Now, a lot of people with somebody that's toxic or somebody that's abusive, maybe they stay in the relationship because they would feel bad if they ever left. Maybe this kind of situation involves kids, and so leaving just doesn't seem that simple, right? Especially if there's little ones involved. You don't want this separation to negatively impact them. But then at the same time, you're also weighing which one is going to negatively impact them more. Is it going to be the separation, or is it going to be or is it going to be me? Is it going to be my willingness to stay in this toxic relationship, and then it just keeps going back and forth for years, to the point where it will influence the kids to think that relationships just aren't worth it. Don't ever get into a serious relationship with somebody. Be monogamous, be non-committal. Do not ever get married. Don't ever have kids, because this is what's going to happen when that's just simply not true. You know, your mom or your dad were desperate and they needed to find somebody, and they didn't really vet that person thoroughly enough before they inevitably came to that conclusion that they were the one for them. You can choose to do different. But I want to just go back to the topic of the narcissistic abuse aftermath, because the people that do want to leave relationships like that, or the people that do want to get out as quickly as they can, just think, I can't wait to move on from this person so that I can finally have peace. There will be a lot less drama. I can finally relax. I'll have more energy. It doesn't work out like that. It can take weeks, months, if not years, for you to finally recover. And what do I mean by recover? I mean feeling like your normal self again. Having that energy that you so craved while you were in the middle of that relationship. Because people like that, I hate to sound cliche, but those are called energy vampires, right? And they're called that for a reason, because they will literally suck the life right out of you, and they're just draining to be around. You try to, you hear their footsteps and you try to make a beeline for the front door because you just don't want to deal with them. But a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll just get over it. I'll surround myself with better people. I'll have my friends and my family. They love me. I'll always have that support and reassurance coming from the people closest to me. And it's good to have people like that. It's good to have people that see you for who you really are. Maybe they've known you for years, and if the opportunity ever presented itself, they would defend you right out of the gate and say, nope, this isn't true. This other person is, they're full of shit. But it's just not that simple to just get over it. Let me go ahead and explain to you guys what happens when you're in the middle of a relationship with somebody like that. You are hyper vigilant. You are always tiptoeing around this person. You're always walking on eggshells. You're always super careful with what you do or what you say around this person, because you don't want this person to you know, to explode. You don't want them to get angry. You don't want them to lose their temper. You don't want them to say things that are mean or things that are inappropriate, things that are mean-spirited. You just don't want to deal with it. And so, you know, it's almost as though like you're at war, right? And you're always hiding behind enemy lines. And you know, I think it's kind of silly for me to compare this to war or to compare this to military vets, but if you really think about it, it's almost the same thing, because you don't have to be in the middle of a very violent situation, you know, or to have gotten over it, or to escape death in order to have trauma. You know, emotional abuse can be just as damaging to you. It can be just as damaging to your body as much as physical abuse, or you know, having any kind of experience as you know, as a combat veteran. It's, you know, those two things are very parallel to each other. They're not as different as you might think. When you're in the middle of a relationship like that, if you're in a situation like that, when you finally do get out, if you know, if that's what you so choose, you can be very low on energy for weeks, if not months, maybe even years. Well, hopefully that's not the case for any of you guys, but it can take a while for you to finally feel like yourself again. Let me go ahead and explain to you guys what happens. So when you're constantly hyper vigilant, when you're always tiptoeing around somebody, you are on alert. And so what happens is your cortisol levels affects your bloodstream, and when that happens, over time you start to experience adrenal fatigue, which is a sense of tiredness, a sense of drowsiness, you know, almost feeling as though like you're half dead most of the time. It's very normal, and it's very common. So don't feel bad. Do not get down on yourself because you haven't gotten over it yet, or because you haven't gotten over all the mean and hurtful things that somebody said to you in the past, or maybe multiple people have said to you in the past. You are just human, and your body is just having a natural reaction to something that's very detrimental and very toxic to yourself, your health, your job, your relationships, and I know it's kind of I know that narcissism gets thrown around a lot these days. I know that, you know, it's a phrase that's been used so much that it's now started to lose its meaning. You know, it's almost as though like everybody's a narcissist now. You know, even the people that, you know, they make jokes at your expense, not because they're trying to hurt you, but because, you know, they're your friends. They just want to, you know, play around with you. They just want to have fun with you. It seems as though like everybody, you know, anybody that ever does anything wrong is a narcissist. You say the wrong thing, narcissist. You know, you make the wrong move, narcissist. But believe me when I tell you guys, when you do come across a narcissist and you get heavily involved with that person, you know, it can be so damaging. It can be so it can be so toxic that you end up almost fearing for your life. You know, it's almost as though, sorry, I know I'm fixing my hair a lot, but it's almost as though like your life is in danger, at least to a smaller extent. Your life is threatened. If you say something wrong, if you do something wrong, if you give an ultimatum, if you threaten to leave, if you threaten to end things, if you if you have children with this person and you're threatening to take the kids away because you don't want to be in that environment, and you definitely don't want your little ones in an environment like that. If you do anything that's even remotely contradictory to this person's agenda, watch out. They may not verbalize it, they may not say it right off the bat, but yeah, your life might be your life might be in danger. So that's one thing for you to keep in mind. And if you can get away from this person, do it. There's no fixing people like that. There's no amount of therapy, no amount of support, or trying to make it work is going to change who this person is. It's not going to help them grow. It's not going to help them change. The only way that that's ever going to happen is they need a wake-up call. They need to hit rock bottom, and maybe you can be part of that bottom, but you're just not going to fix them. If a therapist can't fix somebody like that, well, again, what makes you think you can? So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope it brought value, and if it did, share with your friends and your family. And like always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I love you, and I will talk to you again soon.